In glycolysis, we have seen that one molecule of glucose gets converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid, and during the process, two ATP molecules they are utilized, two ATP molecules they are used, and the four ATP molecules they are produced during the process. And we have also seen that two molecules of NADH2 they are generated, and one NADH2 molecule it yields about 3 molecules of ATP. So 2 NADH2 molecules they will yield 6 molecules of ATP. So in glycolysis, how many ATPs were produced? That is, ATP produced were 4. How many ATP molecules were used? There were 2. And how many NADH2 molecules they were produced? That is 2. 2 into 3, they produced 6 ATP. So what is the net gain? Total ATP produced are 4 plus 6, 10, and used are 2. So the net gain of ATP becomes, it is 10 minus 2 is equal to 8 ATP. Now this pyruvic acid formed, it enters mitochondria and it is oxidized. Pyruvic acid formed, it enters mitochondria and it is oxidized, and this oxidation takes place in two steps. This oxidation of pyruvic acid, it takes place in two steps, and these two steps are, the first is formation of acetyl coenzyme A, and then this acetyl coenzyme A, in the second step, it acts as substrate and it enters Krebs cycle. So we have seen that pyruvic acid formed by the process of glycolysis, that is breakdown of glucose, it is oxidized inside mitochondria, and this oxidation takes place in two steps. The first step is formation of acetyl coenzyme A, and then this acetyl coenzyme A, it acts as substrate and it enters the Krebs cycle. Now let us begin with formation of acetyl coenzyme A. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A, this process takes place in the presence of sufficient amount of oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for formation of acetyl coenzyme A. The reactions which occur during formation of acetyl coenzyme A, they are very complex, and these takes place in the presence of 5 essential cofactors. And these 5 essential cofactors are, number 1, TPP, that is thymine pyrophosphate, magnesium ions, lipoic acid, coenzyme A, and NAD. Now the steps included in the formation of acetyl coenzyme A are, अगर आप इनको सीक्वेंस में ही याद रखो तो रिएक्शन जो है लिखने और याद करने आसान हो जाते हैं कि फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ. लेट अस सी. नाउ इन द फर्स्ट स्टेप पायरुविक एसिड, क्योंकि रिएक्शन हमने क्या करना है इसमें, पायरुविक एसिड को कन्वर्ट होना है एसिटाइल कोएंजाइम ए में. तो रिएक्शन विल बिगिन विद पायरुविक एसिड. It will combine with first cofactor TPP in the presence of enzyme pyruvic dehydrogenase and magnesium ions. हमारे पहले दो कोफैक्टर कौन कौन से थे, TPP and magnesium ions. Pyruvic acid combines with thymine pyrophosphate and magnesium ions in the presence of enzyme pyruvic dehydrogenase, and it forms pyruvic acid TPP complex. यानी ये दोनों join हो गए, and क्या what is released? Carbon dioxide. In the second step में this pyruvic acid TPP complex, जो हमारा थर्ड कोफैक्टर था, कौन सा? लिपोइक एसिड, उससे कंबाइन करेगा एंड इट विल फॉर्म एसिटाइल लिपोइक एसिड कॉम्प्लेक्स, एंड दिस TPP इट विल बी रिलीज्ड. जो पहले ऐड हुआ था, now it will be released, and this step takes place in the presence of enzyme pyruvic dehydrogenase. In the third step, जो यहाँ प्रोडक्ट बना है एसिटाइल लिपोइक एसिड कॉम्प्लेक्स, it will combine with the fourth cofactor. कौन सा था फोर्थ? coenzyme A, in the presence of enzyme dihydroxylipoyl transacetylase, and it will produce acetyl coenzyme A, and this lipoic acid it will be released. यहाँ जो लिपोइक एसिड था it was oxidized. Now this lipoic acid is reduced. Let us see the final step. Now this lipoic acid reduced formed in the previous step, it combines with fifth cofactor NAD in the presence of enzyme dihydroxylipoyl dehydrogenase, and it forms lipoic acid oxidized and NADH2. Now what is the overall reaction? अब ओवरऑल रिएक्शन में अगर हम ये जितने भी हमने 4 स्टेप किए हैं इनके रिएक्टेंट्स को एक तरफ लिख लें, पायरुविक एसिड प्लस TPP प्लस पायरुविक एसिड TPP कॉम्प्लेक्स प्लस लिपोइक एसिड, all the reactants of the 4 steps they are written on one side, and all the products जो भी बने थे इनमें उन सबको हमने कहाँ लिख लिया? on the product side, that is right hand side of the chemical equation. and the similar हम फिर उनको काटते गए. देखो पायरुविक एसिड TPP यहाँ पे बना था एंड TPP इधर जो है ये रिलीज हो गया. TPP फॉर्म्ड एंड TPP रिलीज, दोनों तरफ जो सेम है. पायरुविक एसिड TPP कॉम्प्लेक्स, पायरुविक एसिड TPP कॉम्प्लेक्स, लिपोइक एसिड ऑक्सीडाइज्ड, लिपोइक एसिड ऑक्सीडाइज्ड, देन एसिटाइल लिपोइक एसिड कॉम्प्लेक्स, एसिटाइल लिपोइक एसिड कॉम्प्लेक्स. तो सबको काटने के बाद हमको क्या दिखेगा? द ओवरऑल रिएक्शन बिकम्स, व्हाट इज लेफ्ट? पायरुविक एसिड प्लस कोएंजाइम ए प्लस NAD. It gives off carbon dioxide, acetyl coenzyme A, and NADH2. So the overall reaction becomes pyruvic acid plus coenzyme A and NAD. They yield acetyl coenzyme A plus carbon dioxide plus NADH2. So what is released in this process? 2 molecules of NADH2 are released, which will yield 6 molecules of ATP, as 1 molecule of NADH2 releases 3 molecules of ATP. तो total कितना हो गया? That is the 6 ATP they are produced. So this is the formation of acetyl coenzyme A.